One, two, three, and we are live once again. Hello, welcome back. My name is Carlos. This is my channel where for the last few weeks I've been working on making the Legend of Zelda originally for the NES, and this time I'm making it into 3D. I've been working on the map, on the enemies, on the AI of the enemies, and I also been working on the combat, the loot system. So this is video number 12, and I've been making quite a bit of progress. I've been working on this game since June 1st. Today is what, July, what day is today? 12. So 6 weeks, about 6 weeks. My goal here is to create the whole game, but first I'm gonna work on the outside world. As you know, in the original Legend of Zelda, there is the outside world, amazing, beautiful map, and just a quick recap to show you what I have. So as you can see, I'm gonna be floating around here, Hyrule, the original first Hyrule from 1986. So next year it's gonna be 40 years old, this map. Right, so as you can see, the forests here, level 2, some castles on the back, there's the shore, Death Mountains on the back, Lake Hylia, and some fairy fountains. You can see, for example, if I get close, you can see all the details. I try to replicate as much as I can, you know, these places, all these dungeons, and I'm going for a very voxy, pixelated style. So essentially, it's the 3D, all the elements that you can find in the game, right? So the sprites, which are normally made of pixels in 2D. Well, this time I've been using Magika Voxel to bring every pixel to a cube. And then we have here the Lost Woods, and then we have the graveyard all the way over here. And then this is probably my favorite dungeon because it's really cool looking. Double entrance, the biggest entrance in the whole game. Kind of looks like the last dungeon, but it's just really level 6. And then on the second quest, it's not even a dungeon anymore. It's just like you get 30 rupees somewhere here. The last dungeon is all the way here. This is what it could be called Death Mountain area. So right there would be. That doesn't work yet, and it's not gonna work for a while. So essentially, I'm gonna be going step by step from here on. And I just want to show you what I did since last time I streamed, which was about 5 days ago. It's been a busy week, so normally during the week, sometimes at night, if work permits, I can have some time to stream. But this week I was not able, but I was able to continue moving forward every day. My goal is to every day push one commit, and that means push some code, do some changes, do some updates, essentially move the game forward, because otherwise this is gonna take a way long time. I'm just working on it whenever I have spare time. This is my hobby, not a full-time job, but my goal is to have it done as soon as I can. And if I hit play, I can show you what the game looks like right now. So I'm gonna just disable Link shadow here for a little bit. So Link moves around and is able to attack as well. He has his rusty wood sword, which is the first sword you get in the game. As you can see, there's some heart containers up there. Those work. It's just I'm setting an arbitrary number of hearts to begin with so I can test. As you can see, I can spam my sword beam, which normally in the game you cannot do this. You can only shoot once and wait till the beam disappears from the screen, and then you can shoot again. And as you can see as well, some enemies are already dropping items. So there's like a 5 rupee right here, which reflects in the counter at the top. And if I take this heart, it's gonna be added to my health pool. And all these enemies are able to take as many hits as they're supposed to in the game, in the original game, with the wood sword. So that's also kind of hard coded there. Yeah, and also the last thing I was trying to do in my last video, which didn't work very well, it was this clock. But now I made it work now. So if I touch it, as you can see, Link flashes for 15 seconds. And in that time, enemies cannot move or attack me, right? I can touch them and they don't hit me. But as soon as the effect wears off, the 15-second pass, now they continue to work. It was a little bit more difficult than I thought to implement the clock, not only because I need to stop the enemies, it's just because I also need to disable their attack. So I can just push this guy and nothing happens. But yeah, I can touch them, but I can also hit them, right? So it's a very unfair situation on the enemies, but hey, there's just too many of them and I'm just one guy. And the spam rate right now, or the spawn rate, I should say, of clocks is quite high. It's just I did that on purpose so I could have an easier time testing the clock logic. It works, and yeah. So essentially, this is what's going on. Enemies as well are behaving just like they do in the game. And then another thing that I was able to squeeze in this week, I really like the way it ended up in the final product. When you die, you do the spin of death, just like in the game. In the original game, when you die, Link faces the screen, spins, and then explodes. So I kind of made that because I had to replicate. That's one of the most hilarious death sequences in ever. And as you can see, when I hit an enemy and I kill it, the voxels that composes each enemy explode, right? Like you can see, for example, I'm gonna kill this Armus. Yeah, so I need to fix this double link thing. One moment. Link, go away. Double link. And play. And alright, so if you have a close look, when I kill someone, the voxels kinda just explode in the same colors of the palette of the enemy that I just killed. Right, and they remain on the world for a little bit, just for dramatic effect. Let me see, this guy. Oh, just a tiny bit of blocks in there. Yeah, that one has a lot of blocks. See, the blue blocks are there, and this guy also has his blocks. It's like a dramatic explosion, so to speak, right? That is my own doing. Like, it's something that happens in the game. They just kind of pop. They don't explode like this, but I kind of like this effect, so I went for it. But it's only fair that because enemies can get killed like that in a very gory fashion, that Link also, gets killed that way when dies, which I'm gonna just let myself die here. I'm just gonna stand here, and that's it. So look at the camera, spinning its own axis, and explode. Very dramatic, and you can see Link has a lot more blocks just to make it even more dramatic. And at that point, all the enemies disappear. All the whatever ammo is flying, projectiles flying around at that moment is gonna disappear. And this is where I'm at. So normally here the game would tell you continue, save, or quit. If you continue, Link is brought back to the first screen of the game with only 3 hearts. So I'll implement that at some point. Other than that, as you could see here, well, I mean, I have the UI, which is also something that I did in the last couple videos. And I found the sprites, as I mentioned, I just had to rescale them because the sprites from the game, dumped from the game, are really small. Really small. So when you kind of like blow them in proportions to be HD, they look quite blurry. So I scaled them up and placed them here, added some logic to there's no keys at the moment in the game because I haven't done any dungeons like I mentioned, but the bombs work, as in you can pick them up from the drop from the enemy. And this is also a placeholder right now. So in the future, this is the sword is always there. Whatever sword you have at that moment, the strongest sword you have at any given time is gonna be displayed here. And in here, you're gonna be able to swap items around. So there's the bombs, the bow and arrow, the wand, flute or recorder, as the game calls it, and so on and so forth, right? And then in the original game, so this is where the hearts appear, as you saw before. And this is in the game, it is there. It's a map, so to speak, but it's not really a map. It's just really like a location, an indicator of more or less where in the world you are standing. So you cannot see this whole image in the game. You just see like the coordinates where you are. I think I'm gonna leave it like this. It's kind of boring to see the gray square. I know this map perfectly anyway, so it's not like I'm revealing a big secret by not showing it or anything. So I just need to later on add a dot cursor or something to indicate where your position is, and then that is going to be moved accordingly to wherever you are in the world. So I'm going to be doing that later on. Okay, and it's not all. So this week, other updates, right? So I also added some logic here and some art in Magika Voxel. I'm just gonna show you. I keep talking about Magika Voxel. So this is Link, and as I have mentioned before, Link is based on the Amiibo Link, right? If you notice that Link has a huge nose, that's because the Amiibo Nintendo made it that way. So don't blame me. I mean, I will be happy to just remove these 2 blocks at least here, but nope. He's gonna remain like that because that's the Amiibo version. It's actually my favorite Amiibo, so I can't complain. Let me just show you. We have now Red Link, and Red Link happens really late in the game, as in the last dungeon. When you're deep in the last dungeon, Link can find the red ring, and the red ring decreases all damage by 25%. No, by 75%. So you only take 1/4 of the damage that you otherwise would take with the green tunic. And if I do this and I paint it, this is what Link looks like with the blue ring, right? The blue ring is something you can buy for 250 rupees. As early as you can gather those rupees. Like I always get this ring before I go into level 1, into dungeon 1. So for the most part, most of the game, I spend my time as Blue Link. Right, so he's adorable, right? And so now he's actually also available in the game. I connected him. I added to all the meshes that you need, the palette for Link. So Link has 4 different animations, or frames, you would say, like the right step forward, left step forward, standing still, and thrusting. And I can show you that once again here, just to show a little more context of how this works, right? And let me see, walk cycle, that's not it, walk cycle. I'm not gonna save. Nope. Right, so if you have a close look, Link is kind of moving his feet right there, right? And then there's also the thrust position. And before, I had also hard, kind of like, not hard coded, but like actually drawn the sword here. And so every time Link thrusted, you would kind of like really draw the sword at the same time. The problem is, not a problem, but it's like the game, as you know, there's 3 swords, like the wood sword, the white sword, and the magical sword. So if I was gonna continue having Link hard coding the sword in him, I was gonna have to make 3 different Links with 3 different swords, and that's not really great. So I made the swords separately, like this, and now you have the magical sword, you have the blue sword, and you have your thrusty wood sword. Right. And let me show you what it looks like right now. So later on, when you take the items, when you actually grab the rings, when you have the swords, I'm gonna dynamically change them in game, just like it happens in the game. But for now, just to give me an idea what things look like, what I've been doing is now like expose these variables to the editor right here. So for example, I have, when you serialize a field, you're telling Unity to show it here, right? This is the player mesh animator, player mesh animator is the full name. That is weird. That is not the same name. I need to fix that. It's not perfect. Anyway, so right, and so I'm exposing, the tunic that I just showed you, and I'm also exposing the sword. And just yesterday, on my way from work to home in the train, I was making Link with the magical shield, because as you know, Link also get 2 kinds of shields. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So you can see here Link's all many positions and sprites. And if you have a close look here, for example, look at this little Link. He has a little shield, which is the shield you start with the game. And with this shield, you can block rocks, you can block arrows, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. You cannot block Zora's energy ball or boss's energy beams, or you cannot block either the Lionels. The Lionels, much like Link, they also have a sword beam, a very strong one at that. Like it takes like 3 hearts, something like that. So this little shield cannot block that. Only blocks more like yeah, like primitive, non-magical items, projectiles. So at some point in the game, you can actually purchase this shield. If you know where to purchase, you can buy it for 90 rupees. But if you do not know where to purchase it, you're gonna end up paying 130 rupees, which kind of sucks. So I strongly suggest to look for a shop that gives you a better deal. Anyway, so look at the size of this shield, and then look at the size of this shield. So it's like twice as large. And with that, you signal that you are, in business now. You're gonna be blocking everything. Well, most everything. There are some beams, some boss beams that you cannot block no matter what. Yeah. For example, these things. This is from the Wizrobes, which are my most dread enemy in the whole game because they're very strong. They take a bunch of hits. Their magic is very strong as well, especially if you're wearing the green tunic. And the worst thing is that they appear and disappear, the blue ones. Quite annoying. But if you have the magical shield, you can block their attacks if you're facing them. That's the deal. Only attacks that come from the front are going to be blocked, which makes sense, isn't it? So yeah, for later on in the dungeons, like for me at least when I play this game, I always make sure that I get this shield because it helps so much to stay alive. Right, so I was doing that, and I actually managed to make it work just at the very last moment. So without further ado, let's see what Link's looks like with the blue tunic in-game. There he is. Look at this guy. That's my boy. That's my boy looking amazing. And right now, Link has the wood sword. So this situation can happen. Let me get the fairy. The fairy, yes. Fairy gives you 3 hearts. So I'm still using the basic sword because I didn't change that. I just wanted to show you that Link now has all the animation frames also in blue. So later in the game, when I make all the other items, including the ring, I'll be able to swap it on the fly. Right now, I need to kind of stop the game and then change. For example, I want to do blue Link and white sword and play again. I just take a few seconds, but if I had a better computer, it would be way faster. But it is what it is. I have not updated this part yet. It is not really connected together. It's just for reference purposes. But as you can see now, Link has the white sword. And I am working right now in the cosmetic part of it. So this sword still takes the same amount of damage, or gives the same amount of damage as the wood sword, because I haven't updated that, right? But what I was going for is just I want to put it in the game, like the colors, show it correctly, and it does. And then lastly, this is the strongest Link that you can be. Red tunic with the magical sword. This is really strong Link, meaning business, because you would be at the last dungeon in the game. So yeah, he almost looks like evil because his eyes are red, right? It's man, you don't want to mess with this guy anymore. So and also, as you can see, the sword itself is white, which I kind of wish in the game they would give it a different color. But I'm just replicating what the original game is, so I'm just doing what the original sprite is. But I wouldn't mind if the sword, the blade itself, was like some kind of yellow or something, like a bit more powerful looking or magical looking. And what happens right now is the handle of the sword is different. It's different color. So this is the strongest Link. And similarly, I have not yet implemented the actual damage, the correct damage for it. I will do that in due time. How cool he looks flashing around like this. I really like it. I love it. I had a great time doing this. It was hard because I had to learn about meshes, palettes, and that the geometry, when you create something in Magika Voxel, you end up with a few files, and one is the geometry, and the other one is the palette, so the texture. So yeah, so instead of making the same link many times, I just need to change the palette. So that knowledge helped me quite a bit. Now, the last thing I can show you here that is half working is the magical shield. I'm gonna put green link because that's my favorite. And the difference, like, it should be noticeable. Like if you know what to look for, the shield now is way bigger, and the shield also kind of like moves to the side when you thrust. But I was kind of looking at it a little bit more in deep this morning, and realized that it's not really accurate. The shield itself in the game is way bigger. Like, it does cover some of the face of Link, and it goes all the way to the floor. So, because I'm trying to replicate this as close as possible, especially for the things that I can actually replicate with relative ease, I'm just gonna do that. So, this is exactly where I was last night when I was working on this on the way home. So yeah, if you're a first timer, I'm in Japan, I'm in Tokyo at the moment. I live here, I work here. I do not work in video game making, maybe one day, but right now I do software development for medical purposes. And this is my hobby, right? This is my night, my weekend, kind of like I love retro gaming. I mean, if you can say that, probably just from looking at my background. Right. So yeah, so that's a little bit about me. So let me go for link. There you go. Right, so this is the magical shield, and I'm gonna have to add a few more blocks to it, and it's gonna actually cover Link's nose, but yeah, something like that. And the cross should be a little bit bigger, so we're gonna paint it like that. And now it kind of looks weird. The cross is not correct, so I'm gonna elevate it a little bit more. This is one of the things that they forgot to censor when they brought this game from Japan to the West. They didn't censor the cross in the shields because they were censoring the Bible, for example. It's called now, it's not called the Bible. Is it called the Bible? Oh no, it is called the Bible. Maybe it was in Link to the Past where they censored it a lot more. Okay, so I'm gonna save that one, and then I have to do the same in every animation block. So here is gonna be tricky because now it's in Link's face. How am I gonna do this? Oof. Okay, let me see. Let me just add the brown bits to the top. Here. I'm going to have to... What do I do? Link, your nose huge, man. What are we doing? Shall we leave the nose be? I mean, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. Yeah, I don't want to delete his nose. His nose kind of thing. It's a beautiful nose, Link. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Paint. Once again, I need to fix this cross thing. And then here. And save that, and we're gonna do that for the standing one as well. So I need to make the shield bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in here, what I need to do is just paint this block, Link's nose, and this. Paint the cross, bring it. No, I think, is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Save, and one more in the thrusting animation. This one also needs to be fixed. It's a huge shield, but it's nothing compared to the mirror shield from Link to the Past. That's my favorite shield, the yellow one. It looks so cool. But that shield is not in this game. Maybe, look, my idea is that obviously I cannot release this game once I finish. This is selfishly just for myself. Unfortunately, I cannot put it out there for logical reasons, if you know anything about Nintendo. But I'm thinking, look, if there's enough traction and interest, I can reskin this game once it's complete and put it out there in some way, shape, or form that could actually be used by people who might be interested in trying it out. Not sure what that be like, but that's probably one option that I could have. So to share this, right? Because kind of like, man, I wish I could put this out there once it's finished, but some people have tried in the past and it never worked. It has never worked. Okay, so I have Link with the magical shield. Now I need to export it, and I'm gonna be exporting it here, and then this one too. I'm gonna export, and then Link standing with magical shield, and then Link thrust with magical shield. There you go. And now that I have those, I need to bring them to Unity. But I need to find them first. I need to find them in my stuff. Let me look it up in my folders. 1 second. Export folder. It's right there. Good. Zelda sword thrust magical shield. It must be here. Link. And here with magical shield. I just need to replace the ones that I had before, which are so many elements now in the world. It's quite a few. It's probably the largest game I've done in Unity yet, because it's already like so much stuff. I really need to get my stuff together when organizing things. So what was I doing? Look for, not here but here, prefab sword thrust magical shield. Nope, not that one. Link prefab, Link magical shield, and right, standing mesh magical shield default. So all this I need to delete, and then import these ones, the ones we just fixed, back here, and then in my player, magical shield. Yeah, that's correct, right? Like this, like this, like this. It didn't delink them because the names are the same, so that's good. It was clever enough to do it. So if I start with the magical shield now, is it gonna crash or is it actually gonna show me the large shield link? Ah, no, there you go. And you can see how it just goes in and out Link's nose. I don't know, dude. This is what it is. It is what it is. Bosh. And if I thrust, because Link is left-handed, as you might know if you're a fan of the series, Link is left-handed. So yeah, the shield is looking good. Very cool, very cool. Alright, okay, so and then other thing I was kind of like in the middle of working on was the logic of the shield. Let me, and what I mean about that, right? So the shield must know that it's a shield, that it blocks attacks, where is it in the world, where is it positioned, and to show you more or less how that works, or how I made it work, there's many ways to do one thing always, is if I go to my Link prefab, where is, right, okay, so let me show you here how it works. So essentially this is of course Link. So what is all this stuff around here, all these wires, all these boxes around him? Well, the first one is the one that surrounds Link. This is a Vox collider. In Unity, this is how you detect collisions with other things, be that walls, bushes, enemies, projectiles, and once you detect them, you can choose what to do with them, right? If it's a wall, then you don't probably need to do much else, right? You just know that you cannot go through. But if you're hit with a projectile, then I get that information, and then I discern which kind of projectile it is and how that affects the the health system. And also Link gets pushed back, and also Links get all that flashing palette. which also I need to fix because right now there is no invincibility frame. So I'm gonna do that tonight too. The invincibility frames. It's been on my mind. I keep forgetting. And then in front of Link, if you look closely, there's this other cube right here. So this is the shield mesh, or not the mesh, but the shield collider. It's called the shield hitbox. It's right here. So it means any object, any projectile that arrive and hit this box, which is in front of Link, I can register it. And once again, I can choose what to do with it. And what I want to choose to do with it is to block, right? To prevent that projectile kills Link or like takes your life at all. And then another one is the sword hitbox. Was that this thing, this huge box in front of Link, when I thrust the sword, I mean, the sword is just a mesh. It's just a drawing of some sort, right? So how do I tell it to attack, to cause damage? And that is by, when I flash the sword, which happens for 0.2 seconds, at the same time, in an invisible way, this box comes to life, just flashes. And if there's an enemy standing in this box, that enemy is going to register that collision, and then that enemy is going to know that it was hit with my sword and do the appropriate logic, which is subtract some of their health or die, right? So yeah, so Link has all that stuff going on. And then on each of these boxes, I can apply scripts, I can apply code. So for example, in the main player box, I have a player script, the player animator script, which I was working on right now, the palette flash, which is the one that makes Link change different colors when it gets hit, and then there's a rigid body, which applies physics to Link. Like when you're pushed, you use the physics system of Unity. You use gravity, for example, like it's always being pulled to the center of the earth. Also has a sphere collider, which I can show you that later in the world. So Link has a huge sphere around him, and when that sphere touches spawning areas for enemies will start popping up, because I do not want to pop all enemies from the whole map all at once, because that's very costly memory wise. Right, so because we're talking about the shield has this little logic right here. This is the last thing I was doing yesterday. Essentially, shield tells me if something collides with it, this other thing collides with it. I just wanted to know if that's a projectile, because there's many different kind of objects, right? And I have tagged them as such. If the object that hits the shield box, it's a projectile. Right now, just tell me what it was, exactly what. This is like let me see, debug log is a terminal blocked. A terminal message for me to know that the collision was registered. Helps me to know what's going on, and then destroy that projectile that came to you. So if I go back to the game after I compile, and let's go back to the game. Yeah. So if I get hit from the front, I should start seeing that blocked. And I'm gonna see this here at the bottom. So obviously when an enemy touches you, it cannot be blocked. It's only projectiles. So I'm gonna stay all the way here where all these projectiles are flying. And I'll turn around and see if I get hit here. Look for something here. Blocked. I was hit with a rock and it was blocked. As you can see, it didn't take my life. So it should work as long as it hit me straight on. So maybe this guy can hit me. Yes. Let me see if I can get block an arrow. I technically should be able to block any projectile. So even the it's a block once again. Perfect. It seems to be working fine. Anybody has that? Yes, I just blocked a sword beam and an arrow, so it is working. Now let's see. Let's see if I can block Zora's as well, because I have the magical shield. So this shield is the one that's gonna be able to block these things. Yep, blocked. Energy ball blocked. Now that one might hit me because coming from the side. Nice, perfect. Yeah, that's how it works. It might be harder in 3D to actually face correctly. But yeah, it's a limited area that it protects you. Like helps you a lot, but if you're like looking like that, you're gonna get hit and you're gonna die. There you go. Nice. Okay, that was easier than I thought. Now, something else that I need to do for the shield is that in the original game, when the shield is hit with anything like a rock or something, like the rock actually bounces. It triggers a sound effect like dunk, and the arrow or whatever bounces. I need to think I'm gonna bounce that. The sound effect is piece of cake, but the way I work, sound effects are the very last things that I do in the whole game. When I'm working in sound effects, it means that I'm almost done. So I'm not gonna be working on sound effects for the time being. I'm gonna imagine those sounds in my head because I already know them by heart. Okay, so that is great. Now, the thing that I wanted to work on as well is notice how I have 6 hearts, right? If I go in between many enemies, I'm just gonna bounce around and like immediately die, right? Because I'm not having any invincibility frames. And what does that mean? If you played any game, for most games whatsoever, whenever you get hit, the game kind of makes you flash a little bit. And during that flash, you cannot get hit. It gives you some time to regroup, to get out of danger, and so it makes it a little bit less cheap. Because right now, I can die really cheaply. Like, I can die within a second, even if I had full hearts. If I stand in the middle of many enemies, like I have right here, I'm gonna die immediately. So I need to start working on that, which I can probably start. And I just need to remember a couple things. So I have my player animator, which is there. The shield probably is irrelevant for this part. Palette flash might be relevant because while the palette is flashing is when you shouldn't be able to get hit. So that's what I'm gonna kind of try to do. While you're flashing, do not get hit. So let me just kind of have a look at the code and see if I can come up with a solution. So let's have a look. Link awakes and gets all these variables set up. I don't have anything in the update method for Link at the moment. Player take damage. Okay, so player take damage. This is something I need to disable when I'm flashing. Okay, player dies. Yeah, if player dies is called from within player take damage, so I don't have to worry about this particular one by itself. Destroy or living projectile. This is also part of the dying sequence. Death spin is the dying sequence. Dying sequence is quite long. The spinning. Place Link on start. This still doesn't work. I need to work on this. Like when you die, I wanted to put it back in the first area. Explode. This was fun to make because you can make Link die dramatically. Item pick up logic. Okay, so Link is taking damage here, but it's not really being called from here. It's probably called from when you are hit by a projectile. Just gonna put a projectile here. On collision enter. Right, so this is a script that is attached to every arrow, every rock, every sword beam. Not my own, not Link's sword beam, but Lionel's. And it just tells you what to do, right? Like if you hit the player, then find that player component, and if you are an arrow, gives the direction that you're coming from and push Link in that way. So from here, Link player take damage. So projectile calls the damage in player. Makes sense. But how will projectile know, and also how will enemy know that Link is flashing? Because this is enemy, right? So enemy similarly must have, so enemy can take damage, which is not what I'm, actually enemies must have invincibility frames. So damn it, I need to do that for them as well. Got it, yeah, invincibility frames. This is my to-do, my own to-do here. 3 weeks ago I knew I had to do this, but I haven't done it. Die. How do you dish damage? How do you dish damage? And collision enter here. If you touch the player, yeah, the player is similarly with the projectile gets called, gets pushed. So essentially, I do not want to do anything here. I do not want to call the player damage at all if Link is flashing. Okay, now with Link takes damage, player flash. There you go, player flash. Oh, one moment. Let me just answer a cute text here. I need to do one moment. Somebody's asking me to give them the Netflix code. One moment. Yeah, this is how we roll here in this household. We share. We share. So please feel free to go for your popcorn or your let me see. Uh, yeah. Right. Alright. Where was I? Player take damage here. So this is important here, right? So I probably need to make a flag that I can actually find by many people, by many entities. So that would probably be good to have in the game manager. Do I have a game manager yet? No, I don't. That's strange. In most games that I make, normally game manager is the first thing I make. So let's do it. It's gonna start slow, it's gonna start small, but I need to make a game manager. Game manager, create, script. Okay. So game manager here. Right, so from here I can have it needs to be public, so public boolean, yes or no, is Link flashing. And I guess the false gonna be false, and then public. Yeah, okay, that's gonna work for Link. For enemies, I need to think probably some other way. It's false, right? And let me call it from here. So I'm gonna have a game manager, find it on awake, find game manager game object dot find manager. It says game object dot find. Nope, that's not it. I have it right in front of my nose. Game object dot find game manager dot get component game manager. Okay, so I'm calling now the game manager, and when here let me see, so invisibility frames, play it flash, palette flash for 1 second, palette flash for 1 second. I know. Okay, so this is what I need to call it from 2 different places. So what I'm gonna do is game manager dot is Link flashing equals true, and then from palette flash I need to deactivate it. So I'm gonna have to do the same thing. Get the game manager. So game manager in awake. Gonna be calling him here. Same deal. And okay, set palette, git manage, enumerator, apply palette, no, play, flash, here, and then you have a duration, and then the coroutine start, fixed duration, apply default palette, while duration, and apply palette, define palette. Okay, so this is where it ends. So when that happens, then I need to game manager is link flashing equals false. Okay, now I have this flag that is activated and deactivated by different entities. So when link is flashing, player take damage. The tricky part is tricky part is that has for example projectile, right? I wouldn't even want to call this thing player take damage. No, that's fine because you take the first damage, that's fine, and then that one changes the flag, and any further damage in that second is not gonna work. Okay, so what I can do here is maybe I won't even run any of this logic, and in that it means that I also have to have a game manager reference from here, like so, and there's no awake. I probably need an awake just to be really sure that it's gonna find it in time, like that. Okay, so I have the game manager reference, and here on collision enter, if other guys player, I do not want this to happen. Okay, let me see. If other game of a player and game manager dot is link flashing equals false, right? So if link is not flashing, then go ahead and do the logic, the damage logic. That's for projectiles. Now enemies can still touch me and hurt me, so I need to do the same. I need a reference to the game manager, which the game manager from here, game manager, same deal. So I'm just kind of putting the same line here, and take damage, no, collision here, right here, if you touch the player and game manager dot is link flashing equals false. So if link is not flashing, then touch the player and do all the things. I don't know, look, let's see, it's one way to do things. So I don't know, let's see if while I'm flashing I should not be able to be hit again. Okay, so flashing, oops, why? I see, of course, yeah. I have not added this game manager to the world. I think I do have a game manager object, but it doesn't have much. Did I have a game manager or not? Here, game manager has a time stopper, but doesn't have the game manager script. So here. Okay. So let's try that again. Play. Okay, so let's see. I'm just gonna put myself in a very tight position here. Yeah, it works. It works. Boom. Oh. Boom. Boom. Okay, and I'm dead. But okay, I see what's happening. They do. Interesting. Check it out. So something interesting is happening. When an enemy hits me, they push me, right? But if I stick to him, like, and if I'm fast enough, look, I'm not flashing anymore, and that guy is not hitting me. I don't like that. It's probably gonna be kind of okay. Oh man, I'm gonna die. I need to give myself more hearts. Or at least instead of so many clocks, I'm just gonna put more hearts. I might just do that. So heart, because what I wanna do is when I hit by a projectile, I wanna. That's gonna be tricky to be able to hit by 2 projectiles at the same time. Damn it. I assume that it's gonna work. Projectiles is probably not a problem. It's just this enemy thing. So maybe the enemy still should push me, but not hurt me. If you know what I mean. That's a tricky one because the collision. Unless I don't know. I've never tried this, but maybe if the link. Let me see. Link player has a rigid body, right? Continuous dynamic. It's already continuous dynamic, but enemies might not be. Let me see. Where are my enemies? Enemies. Assemble. Armors. What kind of rigid body I gave you? No, rigid body. Discrete. If I do continuous, would that be enough? I don't know. Let me see, because I need to study a bit more. What's the difference between those 4 options? Let's see if with armors still happens. Touching. Ah, shit, no. So here, and then touching. Oh, let me try again. Armors, continuous dynamic. But I don't want to put too many continuous dynamic because that one takes a lot of CPU. It's probably okay because this is not gonna be mobile. Ah, damn it. I mean, it's not terrible because I mean, who's gonna be doing that, right? What should I do? Let me try something else. Continuous dynamic. I don't think is necessary. Discrete. Enemy. So projectiles okay, but enemy. The line would change. This one. Player take damage. Here, right? So it doesn't do any of this. The collision is ignored. While it's flashing. It's okay, isn't it? Like, and then take damage, hit direction. Maybe what I can do is forget about these. Like, call player take damage. It's okay. I don't care. But just here. It's probably better if I just kind of handle all here. So, okay, so if game manage player is true, then you get that. If it's false, equals 2. Okay, so if game manage let me see, if m equals false. See, link, if link is not flashing, and you take damage, then game manager is link flashing equals true, else return. What am I doing? So yeah, an enemy touches me, or a projectile touches me. If it's false, if I'm not flashing, I'm gonna be flashing, and I'm gonna be put that flag in there, and everything happens here. But if I am, if it's true, it's gonna go to else, and it's gonna do nothing. So none of this is gonna happen again, right? Here the add force is oh my god. Because if I do that, then I don't need to put this here. And I don't need to put this one here in projectile. This check here is irrelevant. You can call that method in player. You can call take damage. But I'm kind of going to ignore it. I'm going to return it. Return from that function if the flag is not properly set. I'm still setting the flag because somewhere has to be set to true, and then in the palette flash, when it finishes flashing, it's gonna be set to false. Right. So let's see how that works. If that behaves any better. Oops. Okay, play. Let's see. All right, 6 hearts. I'm gonna kind of once again come here in the middle of the action. Hit me. Doesn't hit me. I'm still close to him. It's not. That's what I want to avoid. That when you finish flashing, you can still kind of stick very close to the enemy, and the collision doesn't register again. So okay. Anyway, I like that I'm containing the logic to here and not the enemy of the palette flash. In here, actually, the enemy and projectile don't need to call the game manager anymore because they don't reference it. So I can, not be wasteful, deactivate it. It's likely that maybe in the future I might need it for something, so I'm just gonna comment those lines. But in here, so I don't mind calling this method. I'm calling this method, and I'm discerning if I'm flashing or not. Am I invincible? If I'm invincible, then yeah, do take damage, decrease my hearts, push me. The problem is the collision is here. Let me be more aggressive here in the collision detection then, because that probably is necessary. And I know nowhere in the game you're ever gonna have this many enemies at the same time, so maybe that's not gonna happen. Maybe in a dungeon, like one of those really crowded rooms, but not here. However, I would like to be prepared for that. So Armus, continuous dynamic. Let me try them all. I mean, I don't know, Armus, Genie. Which one is best? Continuous dynamic. Collision detection, continuous. What was the Lionel's? All of them. Rigid body. Rigid body. Continuous. I can probably select a few at the same time, isn't it? Yeah, I should probably do it this way. Moblins. 1, 2, Octoroks. Damn it. 2 Octoroks. P-hats. P-hats, whatever. Oh no, P-hats actually main. Tektites. Zora is not gonna be a problem because you can't really ever touch a Zora. Rigid body. Continuous. Okay. And let me just check, for example, Armus, the collision box, right? So it's there, right? Like maybe it's a bit too tight. No, no, that's fine. It shouldn't be much bigger than that. Lionels. Right, because if I touch him from the back, from the front, like that's never a problem. It's just now. The logic, the timing of the logic needs to be correct. Okay, let me once again here. So I touch you and I wanna get back to you. It's hard to test, man. It's hard to test. It's tricky. Look, look. For now, I think I can live with this. Just want to make a note of myself to do. Sometimes after finish flashing, Link can kind of like stick close to the enemy and further collision is not detected. You know what could also do? What I did with the clock. That could be also be a hint. Yeah, and the clock has its own stopwatch, time stopper. Yum, 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 yum. Stop time delta, destroy game object. Stop. It stopped. Yeah, in all the AIs, if it's stopped, then you do not move. Right, but also, oh yeah, but also what? How about in Link? Palette flash, enemy, here in enemy. Nope. Enemy touch the player. Oh, maybe here. Maybe here? Let me try something different. Okay, so if time stopper or and this is why I knew I was gonna need the game manager again. So uncommented, reactivate it from the awake method, and then because when you have the clock, when the time stopped, enemies cannot hurt you, right? So I disable the hurting mechanism when they're which is kind of what I want to do while you're flashing. And this is where the check is done, right? If time is stopped, or like Barney from How I Met Your Mother says, or oh my god, or a game manager is Link flashing equals true. And I know I don't need to put equals true for people who know how to program. This is just for me to make it really super readable. So deal with it. Enemy applies to all enemies. So that's great. And what? So the collision still is detected, which is good. Again, oh my god, I don't know if it's gonna help, because the problem is that collision is not detected. So it doesn't matter what I put inside the collision code if the collision was not detected. Damn it. Okay, but we can try. Let's just see how it behaves. Let's just see what's what. Okay, so this is a little bit different way to do things. Let's see what's gonna happen. So boop. Look, it's okay, because maybe you know what could actually be the problem? It's not even the collision, it's the timing. Maybe the palette finishes flashing in like a tiny bit of time. In a tiny bit of time, it finishes flashing, but you're still kind of invincible, and maybe that's all. Anyway, how about projectiles? I don't know how to make it to hit by projectiles at the same time. Maybe I'm gonna disable my shield so I don't block anything from the shield for now. So disable the script so I can be hit from the front with projectiles. I'm gonna try to be hit with projectiles and to see if the invincibility frames actually work for projectiles. A good place to stand is right here. Somebody shoot me. One. Nice. Nice. But the shield is blocked. Why? No! I disabled the shield. Why is it not? What's going on? This shouldn't happen. Wait, where is the shield? Where is the shield? Shield. Yeah. Asks on trigger. But it's the shield script, and the shield script is disabled. So why is it registering it? Anyway, I'm gonna be facing away from the... Here, shield blocked. It's disabled. Okay. I don't know. So I'm gonna clear that. And I'm gonna be facing away from the projectiles. I hope that's gonna be more clear for testing purposes. So I'm gonna hug the wall. Damn, there's one projectile, but one. Come on, 2 projectiles in sequence. You can do it, guys. 1. Come on. Come on. Somebody shoot me twice. God damn it. 1 and oh my god. No. We're doing this. We're doing this. I have like 1 second to be hit twice with projectiles. Stop dying, Link. And I need to face away. So projectiles, 1, 2. Oh yes! Look. I should be dead by now. Yeah, okay. Alright, it works. Nice. Nice. Sorry, Link. You've been killed many times. Yeah. So essentially, ignore contact damage to Link while frozen by cloak, or during Link's invisibility frames. And so maybe I don't need to do all this check here anymore. I just need to set the flag. Yep. Let me see. Let me see if it behaves better, because maybe with one line I was able to do many things, which is always good. Instead of calling it like from 4 different scripts, I was able to just one line, put it in one place strategically, and then it works. Okay, let's go. Let's try to get hit again by many projectiles at the same time. Okay, now I'm just waiting. 1, come on, come on, come on, come on. Nope. It needs to be 2 projectiles almost in succession. 1. Ah, shit. Ah, man. Dude, they're timing them so perfectly. They're timing them so perfectly that this is a fail. This is a fail. Okay, can I give me more hearts then? Did I finish implementing this? I don't even remember. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Okay, so now I'm full health. I might have more chances to be hit twice. From the back. 1. Yeah, I have all days, guys. Yeah, this is gonna be a long stream while I kind of debug this part. No, we're not debugging. I just really need to test. Yeah, the 2 projectiles of any kind in succession. I just want the first one to hit me, to hurt me. The second one to... that didn't work. Shit. 1, 2... No, I'm getting hit. I'm getting hit, so I might just put this logic back here, because this was working. Was ignoring completely. I know why. Because while you're true, you can just make it true again. You don't need to wait for it to be false. Anyway, let's just one more try, just one more check, just one more check, and then we'll see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to the wall, man. Right here, facing the tree. Come on, come on. Nope. Not yet. One hit. Too late. One more. Come on. One. No, one more. Nope. One. Come on, come on. Tech tight. Get the. Okay, that was okay, right? Cool. Look, check out. The second hit did not decrease the hearts. Oh my freaking god! Get the fuck out of here. Okay, one. I think it's working now. I think it's working. Ah, god, dude. Come on. Come on, hit me. One. Woof. You know where I could get hit probably better? Here with the Zoras. Just need to find a good place. Actually, it's the best place because Zoras aim for you. One. Yeah, that works. That works. And is the shield actually working? Because I thought I disabled it. How is the shield working? How is the freaking shield working? I disabled that. Why is working? It's one of those like, it's not why is it not working? It's like, why is it working? Shield. Ah, the shield's enabled here. Okay, so something. Ah, okay. I enabled it in the prefab. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Player, shield block on, and the one in here, the shield block. Just put it on there. Yeah. Good. All right. So it's progress, right? So Link now is not gonna be all tossed around, juggled and like killed cheaply anymore, right? Even if I stand here in the middle of the action zone, see, I have my invincibility frames, so yeah, I can be hit after that goes away by touching or by. See, this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like. How do I do that? How do I check for that collision again? You see what I mean? Like sometimes if an enemy hits you and you stay really close to him, the collision doesn't register again, and I don't love that. I need to learn more about physics and collisions, apparently. I thought that this was the answer here. If I go to enemies and once again. Okay, let's do it. All of them. All my enemies. I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna make this for mobile, so I'm gonna be a little bit wasteful and use continuous dynamic. See what happens. Okay, that's supposed to increase the awareness of the collisions. It's more expensive, like the CPU is gonna be more taxed, but it's for a good cause, right? So anyway, let me just once again, I need to put here the gang. Guys, you, and then still not. What if I hug the wall? It might be easier to see. So I just need somebody to, and then. Oh no. Why am I not dead? My health is fucked. Why am I not dead? Now I'm dead. How does that work? What did I do wrong there? I think I have some problems with my health. Enemies take different amounts of health depending on the enemy. And if it's like a sword beam or like a projectile. But seems to me, okay, I'm just gonna stay here. So Genie, see, Genie's touching me and it's not registering the collision. Why? I should be hit there again. So something strange. He's gonna push me forward. Oh my god. That is annoying. See, look. That. You see how he's just pushing me even after I was not flashing? That is strange. That is weird. How can I do that? Look, like I said, this situation is perhaps almost never gonna happen in the real game because you never have this many enemies unless you're in a dungeon. Perhaps. See, that is weird. I cannot. So what I gather, you can be hit by another enemy, but if the same enemy is still touching you after you stop flashing, it doesn't register the collision because the collision already happened. Damn it. See that? That's stupid. Armos is pushing. It's like, it looks kind of weird, but okay. And also, this is a Real Hearts 5, so I need to harmonize here. This doesn't match. Oh dear. Okay, look, it's okay. We're at that phase, right? Like, it seems like we have so much done, but these kind of stuff, guys, these kind of stuff is what takes time later on. Fixing the little things, the bugs and all that. Like, as you saw, like in the first 2 weeks I was able to make the whole world and the enemies were there and the AI was kind of like not too difficult because it's very simple enemies. But dude, once you get to the point in which you have many parts moving and they need to work together for the common goal, that's when little bugs start creeping in, situations that you didn't even think about. For example, Link just blocked a projectile from the back. That sucks. That sucks. Anyway, but look, it's progress, right? It's progress moving forward. Now I know, I'm aware of this situation, and I'm gonna have to read more about collision, man. Collision detection. Interpolate. What is this? I don't even know what interpolate does. Smooths out the effect of running physics at a fixed time rate. I don't think that's necessary. I don't know. Let's try interpolate. Sorry, there's so many options in Unity that I never used. So many, dude. It's like probably thousands, if I'm not exaggerating. Oh, my enemies are now super slow. So we don't want that. We do not want that at all. Do not interpolate. How about extrapolate? It's probably gonna, what, make them faster? Nah, I don't know. It's probably slow too, because it's just more taxing on the CPU. Or it's just interrupting, like just kind of like making more complicated the calculation of physics. So this is a none. That's not it. Continuous speculative. Okay, that's my last chance. That's my last chance. If that doesn't fix it, then I'm gonna have to think of another way to detect collisions with enemies, and I do not want that because that's not easy. Let me go back to the wall. Okay, guys, what are you gonna do to me? Okay, push me, and as I have that, boom, boom. I want somebody to see if somebody can drag me. There. Yeah, it's still happening. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Like, see, the goblin is touching me and it's not hitting me, even though I'm not flashing anymore. But the Lionel can hit me because it's a fresh collision from a different source. God damn it! And my hearts are not correct. I have 2 left, but this thing is not correct. Okay. Alright. Like I say, it's progress, right? Like, we are moving forward slowly and steadily. It's not a big deal. Honestly, it's almost like a bug that I can live without, because it's probably never going to be relevant in the outside world. There's never this many enemies at all, not even close. Even in dungeons, it will be like in very specific situations. But by the time I'm working on dungeons, I'm sure I'll know how to fix this. So I'm not too worried about it. Right. Now, why my hearts are different? 6 hearts here. I'm kind of hard coding 6 hearts in there. What if I just disallow that? private and I put 20, hearts, hearts to take damage to string, hearts, hearts, hearts. I don't have any other, because before when I was making things in the beginning, it was just hearts, 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 hearts to string. I had to actually two things. I have a links, HP, and then hearts, so they were not connected. So I'm surprised it's still having that problem. So why? I have a heart counter. So this thing in the UI, let me remember where I put it. Let me remember. So yeah, this thing, this is my trusty 10. That must be in the UI section, which is all the way down here. And then there's a bunch of labels. Heart panel, that's not it. Rupees, keys, hearts, text. This one. So that's that, and then hearts int. Hearts int, it's the 10. Hearts int. And am I using hearts int? So if I go to player, it's called hearts in player, hearts counter text. So I am using it for the UI. Yeah. But why is that different though? Why is this not the source of truth? And why am I be able to see that? Because I'm not saved? See, this is strange. So I have hearts 20, but it is no longer public. Do I have an error? Oh yeah, I do have an error. Player hearts, yeah, no, of course. It needs to be public. Here, I'm hard coding 16 hearts here. Why am I doing that? Because I was testing, I imagine. But okay, so this one needs to be public because it's, in fact, I have a mess here. Even this rupees, private, public is dying sequence happening. It's public anyways, might as well serialize it. And so this is the problem here and here. I have 20 here, I have 16 here. So should I just not? Max hearts. Max hearts. Yeah, okay, max hearts gonna be 20. So max hearts, I remember now what I did. So yeah, because when you start the game, you only have 3 hearts, right? And every time you get a heart container, it just adds one more. But because I'm testing and I'm getting so much damage, like only 3 hearts is really not enough. So there you go. So I just need to always keep an awareness to have, I'm just gonna make a note for me. Check in heart bar.cs max hearts. It shouldn't match. This is a lie. It shouldn't always match. It just should match if you're at full health. If you're at full health. Got it. Okay. Maybe, you know what I'm gonna work on next? Is all the items. All the items. I'm gonna work on the items, which is so many of them. And then not only that, like, you know, what kind of logic you want to add to the item. So let me just see if that fixes the 20 hearts problem. And play. And error is gone, the error. Okay, so I have 20. Oh my god, what's going on here? 24 hearts. What the fuck? That is insane. Okay, so that's not the heart panel. There's something wrong here. Why? Why do you have so many hearts? Constraint 8, yeah, that's different. That's nothing to do with that. Life image, that's not even that. Let me see. While links get massacred there, I'm gonna check on the UI system. UI controller, heart slot, and then in player 12.5 hearts left, and that's 8, wait, 9, 10. Okay, so that's correct. It's just the containers are kind of weird. I have 10.5. Yeah, so when I reach 0 hearts, I'm gonna die, I think. So that means the hearts are correct. It's just like, I don't know why I'm spawning so many heart containers. So that's a different kind of error. So let me just kill myself. Die. Lions are good at killing because they're very strong. That stuff, like, it's just pushing me, and I'm not flashing. Anyway, I'm gonna try to ignore that. Half heart, I'm dead. Okay. Why do I have so many hearts? Why do I have so many hearts? Heart containers. Number max hearts. Slots. Yeah, slot add image. Container. Current heart. Player current hearts. Max hearts, and I'm just gonna debug that too. So debug log max hearts is max hearts. I just want to see where those 24 hearts, not even 24. How many hearts was that? It's 8, 16. Oh, of course. That's me being an idiot. So in this game, you do not get 20 hearts. You get 16. In every other Zelda game, each row is 10 hearts. So I was kind of like thinking Link to the Past mode here. So no, max hearts can only be 16. That's the problem. So that was the problem. And then here, I was forcing it to have. I actually had 20 hearts, but because it's 8, 8, 4, it was kind of overflowing. So 16. That is max health right there. Nice. All right. Oh, I'm getting cold now. Okay, so let's play. Oof. Nah, that's good. Okay, so my inner number here tells me it's 20, and then let me just play the game. Pause the game. My max hearts is current hearts is 20. This is wrong. Current hearts is 20. Why? Yeah, this is wrong. God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 16. Right, so where is this 20 coming from? I know where it's coming from. From the freaking editor. From here. Yes. Right. Let's try that again. That should do the trick. So it's gonna be 16, 16, 16, and now let's see if I actually die when I lose 16 hearts. So Lionel, shoot me for 3. Dush! Missed. Ah, God. I'm just gonna Geronimo. Yeah, everybody. I'm just going for a bit chaos. I'm gonna go down fighting though. No, I'm gonna go down fighting. Have my machine gun sword. See, that's another thing that I need to do. I need to disable these many beams at the same time. I kind of love it though. This is fun. And it kind of balances things. It makes it a little bit equal. Because it's too many enemies, right? And I'm just one man. I'm only but a man. So there. Do not take that heart. Okay, I'm gonna take it just to see if that it confirms that it works. Yeah, it continues to work. That's good. And this guy takes half hearts. Yes. Yes, Genie. Just kill me already. 1.5. 1 heart. Half. Done. And okay. Look at the voxels fly all the way across the mountains. I think I went overboard with that effect, but I kind of love it. Okay, so that's fixed. Right. So what did I say? Ah, yeah, the sword beam. The sword beam, right? Let me see. So when Link, let's see if I can just kind of limit that to one. It's in the animator, right? The animator where I shoot palette on disassemble update dying sequence. That's not it. Trigger attack. Yes. If Link is not dying, then attack. Sword attack. Player sword, sword attack. So player sword. I forgot. So another separate thing. Sword beam. Shoot sword beam, right? So here, sword attack. This is where I need to check. Invoke name of end of sword attack. Check if Link has full health to shoot the sword beam. And also, no. And also check if in the world there's one sword. If it's already one sword, then do not shoot. So here, check that Link has full health. And check that there is only max one live Link's sword beam active in the world. Right, so I should be able to do that because Link, when he shoots, he generates. Look, I'm gonna show you how it works. So, for example, I'm gonna disable all the enemies because otherwise it's not gonna be easy to explain or illustrate anything because too much crap happening. So, enemies test, disable, play the game. We're gonna experience some peace and quiet now. So there's nobody. Nice. There's nobody. Now look, when maybe this is a good way to show the two views. This view as well. Like this, and like this. So that's the game, and this is the editor, right? I'm gonna do like a eagle eye view, something like that, right? And I'm gonna move Link like this. I just want to position him so that you can see how far the sword beam can travel. I want it to like go all the way straight. Woo! So it goes all the way. It's gonna hit that wall all the way over there. Boom. And this list of things here is what's in the world right now. All the trees, the whatever, everything is here, right? If I shoot a bunch of swords, here, player sword beam, player sword beam, player sword beam, player sword beam, and then they're gonna be destroyed when they crash and they disappear, right? So the logic here is gonna be you shoot one, and as long as there's one of these guys in the world, if I hit again, I will not shoot another beam, which is kind of, in the original game, it's not a problem because you just have one screen, right? So as long as you're in that screen and the beam, is gonna live for 2 seconds max, if that. But in this place, as you can see, the beam can travel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I don't even know which is the longest stretch that I can put Link. Seriously, I could put Link. Let's make an experiment. I'm just gonna go all the way here. It's probably one of the longest stretches that Link can walk. From Zora domain. Zora's still there. Let me see. So Link is it's that little dot there. That's Link. Now I'm gonna shoot a sword. See if it doesn't hit anything. It's probably gonna hit that mountain. Shit, it did. Okay. Let me just position myself. Yeah, that's gonna go. No, that's gonna hit this mountain now. Man, 3D is difficult. Those are gonna... Damn it. God damn it. Damn it. It's hard to draw a straight line. and they're gonna collide there. Anyway, oh, okay. Look, you get the point, right? You get the point. So I'm in a conundrum here, because if I only check if there is one sword beam in the world, it could be a situation in which your beam is long gone from your view, and you cannot shoot. So that's gonna be not great for the player. So what I can do is just give it a time to live to the sword beam. The sword beam is gonna come to the world, and it's gonna just remain in the world for, like I said, maybe 2 seconds. So it's two things that I need to do. I need to give like a suicide feature to the Link sword beam after 2 seconds. And also I need to do the check anyway, right? Because you can thrust more than once within 2 seconds, right? So what we can do there, let me just go back to the game view. Couple things. So player sword, and then the prefab. Let me see. Shoot sword, transform, rotation, instantiate. Let me just kind of Google one thing. Just checking about instantiate. Like I've seen here, you can put like some time to live, which that would be good. Otherwise, I have to write a subroutine to just kind of measure those 2 seconds. Oh, okay, so maybe like these. Destroy, instantiate. Okay, so destroy. So wrap the whole thing like this, and then here put 2 seconds. So it means that, yeah, instantiate the sword beam at the position that it should, with the rotation that it should so far. But with the difference now is that after 2 seconds it's gonna disappear, even if it doesn't hit anything. So let's see if that works. So I'm gonna be shooting a few beams from the distance, and before they hit the wall, if it's within 2 seconds, they should just disappear from the world. Oh, I'm gonna miss this feature. It's not a bug, it's a feature, I swear. So let's once again, let's go to this stretch, long stretch right here. See, they are not, yeah, they're not reaching the wall anymore. It's probably easier to see here. Check it out. So that's me. Shoot. Yeah, and before they were getting all the way here till this wall here. And then, I haven't made like a big wall around the whole game, so there should be like sword beams that just kind of go into the distance forever. So that's not good, because not only you will mess my logic to spawn beams, but also it's a memory leak, because they just keep going forever. But now, yeah, okay, so that's good. That's one thing that's addressed, right? So now the beam, if it doesn't hit the enemy, I think that even 2 seconds is too much. But sometimes you might want to shoot something from very far away, because that's something you can do now in this game, right? Like an enemy that is all the way over there. I think that's reasonable. That's far enough. Okay, and then that's one thing. Okay, so that was easy. Now I need to do a check here, like what I said, right? I have something like that. Find object of type. Find game object. Game object. Find object. This is object with tag. Oh, I see. I guess that could work. Objects with tag, ne? Yeah. So this is something I need to do here. Let me see. So bar sword beam equals game object dot find with tag. What are the options there? There's a few options. Game object find any object by type, objects with type, find with tag. Okay, with tag. And I think I do have a special tag for this beam. Let's see. It's called player projectile. Player projectile. And that's gonna probably apply to say like the bow and the candle and things like that, because there also needs to be control. So player projectile. So this is what it's doing is like at this moment when you attack, check if there is in the world an object with tag player projectile. If there is one, then skip this. So I need to skip that, right? So if there is no sword beam, and this is just for me to be very explicit on what's going on. Oops. I just need to put this one in there. Right. If there is no sword beam in the world, shoot a new one. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Okay, so play. Why? No, it's all errors. I think that's fine. Okay, moment of truth. I should only be able to choose one thing. I don't know, maybe. Fuck. Player projectile is not defined. Okay, so it's not gonna be that easy. Shoot sword beam. Instantiate this. Shoot sword beam, but I'm not shooting it. I'm just bring this to the top because I can see it. Okay, so what's happening? Sword attack. Enable the full swing duration. Sword hit enable equals true, that's fine. Invoke name of end of attack, that's fine. Sword hit enable falls after 2 seconds. And then shoot the sword beam. Sword beam. Player projectile. If sword beam, it's maybe not like that, equals null. If sword beam is null, then shoot. So maybe it's just the way I write things is probably not correct, but let me try again. Damn it. Player projectile is not defined. Seriously? Didn't I just look at it? Okay, well, that's a hint. Maybe it's not quite that name. Let's see. In prefabs, link prefab, no. And sword thrust. Magical sword thrust, no. Player sword thrust prefabs, magical sword. Yeah, but that's not it. That's the sword thrust. Trees, voxels, ammo, ammunition, sword beam, enemy projectile, player projectile. Player projectile. Oh, layer player projectile. I need to call it player projectile. mm, okay, okay. So should I just call player projectile or sword beam? Maybe let's be explicit. Sword beam. Link sword beam. Link links link sword beam. Grammar be damned. Okay, link sword beam. So in that case, and I also need to tag it as such. So sword beam is gonna now be called not projectile. Ah, my god, I hope it's gonna work because I'm gonna change the tag. Link sword beam. Ah, my god. Okay, this might break something else, but I guess we'll figure it out. Okay, now it's called link sword beam, and I didn't change that, so I need to change it here. Link sword beam. Save. All right. So now it's not shooting anything at all. Why is that? Why are you not shooting? Link sword beam. I think it's because I changed the tag. I think it's because I changed the tag. Oh man, okay. So what was before? Projectile? Let me see. Yeah, it was projectile before. Projectile, but the thing is that there's many projectiles, not only links. So how can I find it? You cannot put two tags to one thing, because that's the way things work. Sword beam. Play maybe by name. Not by tag, but by name. Player sword beam dot box clone is gonna be. So let me just disable this just to see what is the name, the exact name, not the tag, but the name. It's two different things. So I should be able to shoot again, and I'm gonna pause the game and inspect one of those beams. So shoot, pause, and then I'm gonna inspect sword beam. Yeah, so maybe I can look by this name. Not, it says on tag though. So weird. Player sword beam. Why is it on tag? Player sword beam. The blink. I'm kind of confused. Like, why here it said player? Now it says on tagged. It said projectile before, didn't it? I don't know. Okay, let me because I need to check that it still affect the enemies if I don't tag it. So it's a few things I need to check. So enemies are back. Okay, so it's hurting peeps. It's good. And sword, no. Player sword beam. So player sword beam, this one, player sword beam, is not tagged in the game, and it's a player projectile. So player sword beam is not tagged, but if I call it link sword beam, because if it was not tagged it means that it didn't matter. Link sword beam. So I can just reactivate this logic. So find link sword beam tag if this thing is different of null. Tag something like that, then okay. Play. But now it's not shooting maybe. Magical sword thrust. Can I still hit them? Yeah, with the sword I can still hit them, but there is no beam. Seems like the sword reach is really short without the beam. Ugh. Just maybe let me try something different then. Sword beam. Maybe I don't even need this. Let's just try different ones. Sword. Game of printer of tag. It's like that. Find it's equals null. So if there is no, then shoot link sword beam. Okay, I think so. Let's see. Okay. Ah, okay. There you go. Pew. Pew. So I cannot spawn it anymore. I cannot spam it. Spam it. Not spawn it. Spam it. Oh my god, that's sad. I don't love it. Oh shit, you know what I noticed too? I had 16 hearts and then I grabbed one and now I have 17. So you can't see it, but it's like I need to fix that. Is that am I gonna die when I have one heart left? And also, yeah, so the 2 seconds and I can shoot again. Oh my god, 2 seconds might be a little bit too much. I should probably do 1 second and a half. I don't care if there's like more than one, maybe. Yeah, 1 second and a half would be probably enough. Maybe the arrow I can make it have way more longer range. Okay, well in the meantime, I wanna die. Wanna die. Kill me just to see if actually that extra heart is gonna be count. Boop. Boop. Okay. Huh. Yep, I need to enforce the max heart thing. Because if I'm full hearts, if I take a heart, little heart, that gives me extra HP, which is not good. Okay, so sadly now we only have the ability to shoot one beam at a time. Yeah. Okay, so and the heart thing, right? So if I'm a full heart, I'm just kind of fixing many things at the same time. Player. Okay, not genie. Time stopper is irrelevant. Enemy probably doesn't matter. Playing sword. Here. I need to also add the check that Lynx is at full health, which I can do probably next time. It's probably not a big deal. I just need to fix my health thing. Shield I can close. Enemy I can close. Delegate helper I can close. Too much crap. Palette. Projectile. Here. So. Player. Hearts. Ne. So when I touch a heart container, I only heal myself by 1. I need to make a check here. If I'm already at full health, if what hearts equal max, what's it called? Max, shit, max heart is somewhere else. Max heart is in health bar. So I'm gonna have to make this public, and I'm gonna have to import this thing. A hair bar. I'm sorry, guys. My English is shit. The more I speak, the more it just gets screwed. So it's gonna be heart bar dot max hearts. So if hearts equals max hearts, then heal me. No, if it's less than. I know. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's more than meets the eyes. So if it's not maxed, then yeah, you can heal me. But the thing is, you can have half hearts, right? So if I have like 15.5 and I take one full heart, I don't want to go to 16.5. I need just to close it to 16. Hearts plus plus. If another check. Hearts plus plus. Heal. Heart heal. 1. Yeah. So hearts, max hearts. So just heal me when I have. So the worst case scenario is that I end up with like 0.5 extra. But I don't want that. Is less than max hearts plus plus. You can come here, right? If hearts equals max minus 5f, and that's a double equals right. If that's the case, so in this scenario you are going to only hearts is going to be equals max. So just maxed it out. When you're like 0.5 under the max. So in that situation, you do that and you heal 0.5. Heal 0.5 F. Else, just give me one full heart, one full unit. Okay. I see. And now I want to spawn more hearts because the spawning rate was all weird since I was working on the stopwatch. I should probably make a comment here what I'm doing, right? So this prevents getting more health than hearts. Also, yeah, including the 0.5 hearts scenario. I also need to think about the red ring in the future because it will be 25.25 damage, not point 0.5. So that's another scenario that I need to consider. Yeah, something like that. And then yeah, and then the loot, enemy, loot, explode, collision. Here, instead of the stopwatch, is the yellow rupee. No, the bomb. The bomb prefab, yellow rupee, hard prefab. And this one is a yellow rupee. But right now, what I want is just getting more hearts. So I'm just gonna put more hearts as a high priority here. So a lot of enemies are gonna give hearts. Just wanna test this health scenario when I don't wanna go overboard with health, overflow with health. So let me see. So first I need to get hit by an Octorok. Where is the Octorok? So this guy, half. Now I need to find, okay, maybe with this, and then I need to find hearts. They're there. So this is gonna give me 16. Yes, okay, it works. So I was worried it was gonna be 16.5 and 16. Just ignore. I don't go to 17. So that's all good. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if I die when I should. Okay, like that, like that, like that. Yeah, all good. Okay, excellent. Another little silent bug or situation that needs to be addressed sooner or later is under control. Very cool, very cool. All right. Well, we did some progress. The game feels more like the real deal now because now I'm limited to the sword beam, and the sword beam should only be shoot when you are at max health. But I'm not gonna put that check right now because for testing it helps me to be able to just kill things more quickly. So I'll do that later on. So I'm gonna commit the commit of the day. So check it out. Look at all the changes. We did quite a bit of changes. Good. Git add. Let's see, git diff. Just to check what we changed. Yeah, so that's alright. Doesn't matter. Oh, and this sucks. Not this. This is. This is. You know what this is? This is the shield, the magical shield. This is what the magical shield looks like in code. It's like the Matrix. Come on, this is stupid. Never mind. Never mind. I think I remember. So we git add all git commit. So made magical shield larger. And also prevent link sword beam from being spammed with double M, I think. And also prevents links from overhealing. And also prevents, gives link invincibility frames. Invincibility frames. What else? I think that's it. And yeah, that's it, right? That's not too bad for one session. That's great. Git push origin master, and that way it's gonna go to my repository, which I can show you here. Before we go, so I like GitHub because helps me keep organized and my progress, right? I can see every green day is a day that I push a commit, like we just did now, like a change. And so right now we just pushed a commit to the Zelda repository, right? And you can see I've done 46 commits, which is exactly how many days I've been working on it, I guess. And you can see the timeline. So this is the one we just made, right? Made magical shield larger, prevent link sorting from being spammed, blah, 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 blah. And you can see here the exact changes. The exact changes to the code. Some of the code is auto-generated. For example, the game manager, we didn't have a game manager, now we have a game manager. The hearts, now they are matched. Max hearts mean 16, not 20. This is still the dying sequence. Game manager. Yeah, the link flashing, the flag that you have to turn on and off, enable in order to detect the invincibility frames. The ability to prevent any overhealing, and prevent spamming the sword. So that's there, right? And if I go back in time, this is July 11, what I did yesterday, 10, I do 2 commits. So every day there's been some progress, and this is how I keep myself in check. I want and I will, because this is how I finish games, like making games. I was really bad at finishing them. I was great at starting them. I have so many started games, but finishing them is just, that wasn't good. But from last year, it's going to be almost a year now, I started a previous game, a game before this one. It's called Treasure of Tarmin. I say, okay, I'm going to give myself 6 months to finish this game. It's a remake from an Intellivision game. And the trick was that I was forcing myself to every day push a commit, right? Every day do something. If you have 5 minutes, 5 minutes it is. Like 5 minutes of refactoring, 5 minutes of opening the editor, see where you're at, keeping it fresh in your head, right? If you had more time, of course, like maybe one day I was doing 5 hours instead of 5 minutes. But, it doesn't matter if it's a work day. It doesn't matter if it's like a holiday or I'm going on a trip. I don't care. No excuses. And that system helped me finish the game. I finished it in 6 months like I wanted to. So in this case, with this game, I'm thinking that 6 months for the outside world might be too much. I'm doing good progress in a month and a half. This is already working, kind of like you can see. What's missing now? What I need to do on top of my head? Big things. One of them is items. So that's gonna take a while because I need to make them, and then I need to give them the behavior that I want. When do you spawn the bow and how do you use it, the arrow, the mechanic of the arrow. You see how there's projectiles and sword beams and enemy projectiles, so I have to give it its own behavior. And there's the flute that's gonna move Link around the place. There's the raft, which only works when you stand on the docks. For example, when you want to go to level 4, you will need to have already the raft. So Link is gonna kind of come here. There's like just a couple places where you really need it. It's here. So you come here, and then Link kind of crosses with it to this dungeon number 4. And then there's the ladder. The ladder kind of helps you cross little gaps. It's not very useful in the outside world, except in a couple places that I can remember. So one of them being this one, which is quite important. Here, this is not a dock. You cannot use the rafting here. You use the ladder to walk across, and I think this one here has a hard container in the game, so you need that. And also to cross here, you need the raft. So I need to implement all that stuff, man. The wand, the candle, the fire. So, okay, so that's one thing. That's one big milestone, I would say. And then after that, I need to work on the stores, on the caves, right? Like you walk into these little things, these little black squares in the world. Right now, it's a placeholder for me, like to know where they go. But, I need to implement them. So Link's going to go in there. I need to make the old man, the old woman. I need to make the merchandise. I need to make the rupee transaction system, right? I need to create those shops, which are quite basic, because it's just a black cave with like 2 fires and like the old man, old woman. but I have to do that, right? So it's just more things to do. And then another thing that I need to do is to spawn the enemies where they belong. So right now I have this chaos here in the desert, but obviously that's just for testing. In the finished game, I need to make sure that, okay, here only Octorok spawn, and here only Tektides, and here only such and such. It kind of works already with the Zoras. Zoras already have their spawning areas, which is really where the water is. So you will never see Zoras in the desert. But if I walk here, it works. So it kind of works, but I need to refine it. Also, I need to... Man, at that point, it would be really like completed. Like I'm sure I'm gonna remember more things that I need to do. And of course, that's only the outside world. Oh yeah, the bracelet. The bracelet allows you to push some rocks, and then underneath those rocks, there's stairs, and there's like a warping system. It takes you different places in the map. And also, you need to be able to burn bushes with the candle, like some specific bushes that reveal also stairs. I need to do that. What else? I don't know, little mechanics here and there. For example, to go to level 5 here in the original game, you need to go up 5 times. So when you cross here the first time, it spawns you back up down here, and then you go up again, and you go up again. And if you do that 5 times, you finally kind of appear here in the castle. As it is right now, Link can just waltz in right here, so you don't have to do that sequence. So I think I have an idea, right? If Link touches here, spawning back here, and count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4, count 5, and then let him in. And there's another one, it's probably trickier, which is the Lost Woods right here. Right, so right now, if you want to go to the graveyard in this part of the game, the map, you have to cross this. But in the original game, there's a catch. If you keep just going this way from here, the game just kind of spawned you back on this side. So you cannot just kind of walk there. You have to go in a certain pattern. You have to go up. So first you go up, and then it puts you down here. And then you go left, and then it puts you back here. And then you go down, and it puts you back here. And then you go left again. And then finally you can go to this side of the map. So I don't know how I'm going to implement that yet. I need to get creative with that. But I want to do it. I want to do it because that's the original game. And I need to do the fairy fountains, which should be easy enough. I don't foresee any particular problem. So honestly, I don't foresee any huge problem or any massive challenge that I do not or will not be able to overcome. I hope I'm not being too cocky, but I feel like I can do this. I can pull it off. And this is why I've been kind of like motivated and like trying to... This is helping me, right, to keep sharing it with somebody because, like I say, I will not be able to share this game publicly once it's finished, unfortunately, because of Nintendo will not allow it. And I will not risk it to get into legal trouble for that. So when I finish the outside world, depending how things are with me and my life, and if I'm still kind of like really into this project, like I'll do the dungeons. I want to because the dungeons are, what makes this game. Is very important, but it's going to be, however much work I have done to that point, it's probably going to be times 2, another 100%. So if this takes me three months to finish, it's probably going to take me another 3 months. So maybe in Christmas time, this game would be finished, the first quest at least. I don't know. The previous game was simpler than this one, and it took me 6 months, so I don't know. And I work full time. Every day I go to Tokyo and I have a job that is not related to this. So sometimes when I come back from work in the train, because in the train I'm in the train for like an hour and a half. So sometimes when I can pull my computer, I kind of work. You have no idea how much progress I've done in the train. It's awesome. And then sometimes I come home, and if I'm not super tired, I work on it a little bit. And when I have a lot of energy, like today is Saturday for me, Saturday night, I can share with you guys the progress. Obviously, I will not be able to stream everything that I do because it will be like thousands of episodes and thousands of hours in the end. So nobody wants that. But I like that I'm kind of like catching up with you once or twice a week and just showing you what I've done between episodes. And then we work on something together here and so on and so forth. And eventually we'll have a finished product. And look, if by the time I finish this full game, there is an audience or like somebody wants to like really want to play it, or I'll fork this project. Forking in GitHub terms means that you just kind of clone it. You copy paste it. You create a new folder. You stop working on this one when it's finished, and then this other one I'll reskin it. I'll change the enemy, the link, everything that could be copyrighted material, and enough change it enough that I can put it out there for people to try. And my cat's saying hello. This is Cherry. Hello, Cherry. She helps. She helps. So we'll see, right? So we'll see. Maybe by December we might have some plans to. If somebody who's really want to give it a go, give it a try, you can probably do it in some way that is not violating any copyrights, or like Nintendo's not gonna get pissed, right? So, but yeah, so far this is where I'm at. And thank you for everybody who joined. There was a few people today. I wonder, because I'm in Tokyo, is YouTube pushing this to people in Japan, or is anybody here from what, like the US, or like, I don't know. 誰か日本語話せますか？今見てる方が日本語喋れる人いたらハートマークとかなんか言ってくれる？興味がある。I just say that if there's anybody from Japan, just gonna say something. Just curious as to what kind of audience I get. I don't know. Still a very small audience. Like, I just started doing this, and I'm not a professional by any means, but I'm having fun. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't think. I don't even know if I can see the reactions, to be honest. It has 18 views, 7 concurrent viewers right now, but I have no idea. Maybe it's bots. Maybe I'm talking to the wall, but we're doing it anyway. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. 2 hours. My voice is dying. I'll when I have something else to share in the coming days, I'll be back and we can work on it some more, and I can share the progress. If you have any ideas, or if you see anything that you think can help me during the development here, feel free to like, subscribe. I'm gonna do the YouTuber thing, like to keep posted, right? So whenever I stream, you can check it out. I can show you the progress. And maybe by the end of the day, when we finish this game, there's a little bit of a community there, and that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you. See you later. And Cherry is also gonna say bye.